When the meal is over, Jesus stands between the crowd and the ex-leper, and he begins to speak, while mothers take in their laps the children satiated with food and tired of playing, and they lull them to sleep, so that they may not disturb. Listen, everybody. In a psalm, David, the psalmist, asks, "Who will dwell in the tabernacle of God? Who will rest on the mountain of God?" And he goes on to enumerate who will be the fortunate people and why they will be so. He says, quotes, "The man whose way of life is blameless, and who does what is right, he who speaks the truth from his heart, and does not plot deceit with his tongue, who does no wrong to his fellow, who does not listen to words discrediting his neighbour," unquote. And in a few lines after describing those who will enter the dominions of God, he says what good these blessed souls do after having done no wrong. Here, quotes, "In his eyes the reprobate is nothing. He honours those who fear God. When he swears to his neighbour, he stands by his pledge. He does not ask interest on loans. He will not be bribed to victimise the innocent," unquote. And he concludes, quote, "The man who does all that will never waver," unquote. I solemnly tell you that the psalmist spoke the truth, and I confirm with my wisdom that he who does such things will never waver. The first condition to enter the kingdom of heaven: to live without fault. But can a man, a weak creature, live without fault? The flesh, the world, and Satan, in continuous ferment of passions, inclinations, and hatred, squirt out their spray to stain souls. And if heaven were open only to those who lived without fault ever since the age of reason, very few men would enter heaven, just as very few are the men who arrive at death without experiencing more or less grave diseases during their lifetime. So, are the children of God barred from heaven? And will they have to say, "I have lost it," when an attack of Satan or a storm of the flesh causes them to fall and they see their souls stained? Will there be no more forgiveness for the sinners? Will nothing delete the stain which disfigures the spirit? Do not fear your God with unjust fear. He is a father, and a father always stretches out a hand to his wavering children. He offers help so that they may rise again. He comforts them with kind means so that their dejection may not degenerate into despair, but it may flourish into humility, willing to make amends, and thus become again pleasing to the Father.